Some businesses in two Tennessee towns are closing their doors and boarding their windows, bracing for violence ahead of white supremacist rallies on Saturday. Police in Murfreesboro, before dawn this morning, checking out the location of a so-called White Lives Matter rally scheduled for less than 24 hours from now. The worries of law enforcement, businesses, townspeople in Murfreesboro and Shelbyville are extremely well-founded because there has been a string of violence from white supremacists, racists, and nationalists across the country. Often it's gone under the radar. Sometimes it's gotten a lot of attention. There was, of course, the rally of Nazis and racists in Charlottesville in August that turned violent. One man murdered counter-protester Heather Heyer. A group of white supremacists viciously beat DeAndre Harris. Another man fired a gun. This is a guy who's actually in the KKK right there. You see him right there. Fired a gun at the ground toward a black man not far from police who did nothing at the time. According to a video posted by the ACLU, the shooter simply walked away. All three of those happened in Charlottesville, but it didn't stop there. There have been a number of other incidents as well. In Florida, 3 men were charged with attempted homicide after a speech by white supremacist Richard Spencer. Police identified the men as white nationalists, said they gave Nazi salutes, and shouted chants about Hitler. And in a story that's only recently come to light earlier this year, a former intern of Milo Yiannopoulos allegedly killed his own father for calling him a Nazi and a racist. Meanwhile, the establishment GOP candidate in Virginia's gubernatorial race is staking his campaign on defending the Confederacy. The Washington Post is blasting Ed Gillespie, the Republican candidate for Virginia governor, for a campaign the paper's editorial board calls toxic. They write, once known as a pragmatist and a centrist, Mr. Gillespie increasingly has been turning in his political advertising to President Trump's brand of divisive scaremongering politics. It's a poisonous strategy for the nation and for Virginia. That strategy might be impacting voters. New poll from Christopher Newport University finds Democrat Ralph Northam leads Gillespie 50-43 among likely voters, although it's within the poll's margin of error. And now Gillespie's campaign is drawing criticism from some prominent Republicans. Rand Paul's chief strategist, Doug Stafford, tweeting, so the last 3 ads by Ed Gillespie are gangs, people getting their voting rights back, and monuments. The dog whistle is a little loud, Ed.